Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. And today's first story comes from Recently Gave Away and it's titled, Today, I'll, 45 male, have to tell my son, 28 male, his new girlfriend's 35 female child might be mine. There was no cheating involved whatsoever. I'd never do that to my own son. He's only been seeing her for about 4 months from what he's told me, but she and I dated 2 years ago. But it ended because I was going to be traveling out of work for months. We just lost contact. She has a 1.5-year-old son that is very likely my child. My son told me the father isn't involved but hasn't given him any other details other than it's just her raising the kid. I was the one to connect the dots as soon as I realized it was her. You can't imagine how unbelievably awkward the first time meeting was. Thankfully, it was with other family members around, but she was just as freaked out as I was. This can't be kept a secret though. If this is my child, I need to know. And as much as it pains me to put my son in this messed up position, he needs to know too. He's coming over later on so we can talk. I'm beyond nervous. I really don't even know where to start explaining something like this to him. Edit. To update on this, since many of you have asked, yes, my son knows everything now. The conversation was not easy at all. My son was very confused and upset, as anyone would, honestly. I expected him to yell at me, but the shock was too much for him to get a strong reaction. But he was still very serious. I made sure he knew I'd understand if this was too much for him, so whatever he needs from me, I will try to do. As of right now, he just needs some space, and I said in another comment that after our talk last night, he messaged me about going over to her place so he can hear this from her too. As far as I know, they have had their own talk, but not so sure about where they stand now. He didn't talk to me all day until he sent me a message earlier telling me he loves me and he's going to need some time to himself, which I completely understand. It's not going to be something he'll easily get over. As far as a paternity, well, we still don't know anything about that. I've communicated with her about finding a place where we can get this test done and out of the way. So we'll be doing that this week. It can't wait any longer, otherwise it's just going to drive me crazy. Wow, what do you do in a situation like this? Obviously, OP needs to know the truth because if it is his child, he would like to know. But in doing so, you could potentially damage the relationship with your son. Hopefully, it won't come to that. But will it damage the relationship between, girlfriend and boyfriend in this? If you was in that son's position and, one of your parents was previously dating who you are with now, would you be able to cope with that? I wonder what's going to happen in this update. But Upper Associate says, man, that's not how I'd have guessed this story would end. Good luck with breaking the news. Hopefully he takes the news as you intend. To which OP replies saying, I don't expect him to react rationally. It's such a messed up curveball to throw right at him, but I hope eventually he's able to understand this happened before they got together and can process the news in a healthy manner. AppSlave asks, how the fuck did she conveniently end up popping into your son's life? To which Welcome to My Mind replies to that one saying, American here. I was once in Barcelona visiting a friend. He was showing me the sights, and on the way from Cathedral Barcelona to the W Hotel, we sporadically opted to cut down a side alley to save time. It was down this alley I surprisingly heard my name get called out by a familiar voice. I looked behind me and sat there on their suitcase is an old friend I knew from back in Denver. She was there with her mum and boyfriend waiting for their Airbnb host to show up. 5,000 miles away from home, in a different country, on a different continent, I ran into someone I know in a side alley. Weird connections happen, mate. It's kinda wild. A deleted user says this is a terrible situation to be in and could have been prevented had she simply been honest and told you about the pregnancy. I think you're doing the right thing by everyone involved by bringing the truth to light. OP replies saying, I wish she had told me from the very beginning. All of this could have been avoided, and if her son is in fact mine, then I could have been there for him for his first year of life. Yes, the fact that I was on the road definitely would have had made things very complicated, but I know I'd have figured out some way to be there, even if it meant coming back completely. A deleted user replies that saying, I have a suspicious mind and I may, hopefully be very off track, but I sincerely hope she hasn't intentionally sought out and started a relationship with your son as some twisted way of getting back at you. There are a lot of people in this world, and not all of them are psychologically healthy. It just seems very unlikely to me that she could have a relationship with you and then unwittingly find and start a relationship with your son. I'm sorry that you've been placed in this predicament. And one more from Observer who says, I would maybe try and confirm with the girl alone first and then take it from there. No reason to mess anything up if it's just a misunderstanding. OP replies saying, we talked briefly about this after I made the connection. She says he's mine, but according to her, was worried I might not want to be involved since I was gone for work for who knows how long. Not an excuse to keep this information from me, but it's done now. I'd still like to get a paternity test done just to be absolutely sure. The math adds up, but it could also be that she was seeing others. Who knows, but that's why I want to test, so there is zero doubts. So then OP comes in with the update. Apologies for taking so long to update on this. There really has been a lot going on, but I'm taking the time to finally get back to you all after your amazing support. It was a strange situation to be in, so believe me, I'm glad to have gotten the positive feedback and reassurance that I did. So yes, if you saw the update, I included my son, does know about everything. He needed a little time to himself, and they did decide in the end to mutually break up. They both knew it wasn't worth complicating things more down the line when they haven't been together that long. My son did admit to me that he was a little sad about the relationship, but he's glad I told him before his feelings for her grew to love. We didn't talk much for almost a week because he was having a boys' trip with his close friends and then needed a little time to get used to all of this information. The good thing is we are talking again normally, which I am so grateful for. Seriously, it worried me how much this would affect my relationship with him. I'm happy he's been so open about his feelings. He tells me it's still crazy how all this happened. He told me he's accepted it though and might try dating again in another few weeks. It's not all perfect. At least we are talking like we always do though. And more than anything, I'm so happy he didn't hold what happened against me since none of us knew about this until we all had dinner. Now for the part I know lots of you wanted to hear about. We did that paternity test and the results did confirm her son is also mine. Part of me just had a feeling he was anyway, but it didn't hurt to just know for sure. We've been communicating more and I've taken the time off to come over to see him almost every day. He's not wary of strangers, in fact, he's pretty friendly, so that's really helped with trying to bond with him. Not my first rodeo as a dad, obviously, but I still feel like I'm learning everything all over again after so long, and especially after missing so much time with him already. I've been able to hold him and play with him with his toys, which is a blast. It's just the fact that I have another son that I'll get to experience many new milestones with always makes me smile. My son knows about his half-brother now. He told me he'd like to meet him at some point in the future when it doesn't feel as weird. He never met him before that, I explained in a few comments, because they hadn't been dating long enough to introduce him. My son thinks it's kind of nice knowing he has a brother now. Again though, he told me he's going to need more time to adjust before he's comfortable with officially meeting him, and I understand that completely. So yeah, it's been quite a ride so far. You can imagine how busy it's been with a new kiddo to bond with and raise. We're currently working with a lawyer to get all the legal things set right away. I want to make sure I have my rights as a father and get my time with my son if she ever changes her mind about being compliant and decides to shut me out of his life again. That's all I have as of right now in terms of an update, so I hope this answered some of your questions. And it sort of clicked at me at the end of that update, you could have been gaining a son whilst losing another one and breaking that relationship, and I'm really glad it didn't come to that, and it seemed like everyone acted pretty maturely throughout this in the way that they've dealt with it. The son saying that he needs more time, and of course, who wouldn't in that situation? Holy moly. And the father taking responsibility for his son and wanting to be there and being excited for it. And then the brother saying, yeah, no, he's quite excited about having a brother as well. Again, just needs that time for now. Wow. What do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. What a small world. And our next story is going to be from a different subreddit because I just fancied something a little bit different today. I don't know about you, every once in a while I like a little little something different. Let me know your thoughts on that. But this one comes from the Lightning Count 1, who says, "You demanded my entire team to be at the office for the 4th of July. Fine. Enjoy paying for the office party." And this one is from Malicious Compliance, of course. So this starts on Monday the 13th, as I receive an email from a VP not over my department, or bad VP. I am told that my team will be required on the 4th. I politely tell them, no, that our team has been scheduled this day off and people already have plans. My team is the IT team, and as many of you know, IT team gets shafted every time it can get shafted by any company. So over the course of the week, I let my team know what is happening. I let them know I've been reaching out to higher ups to fix it. I also tell them that if their plans are ruined, I will make it right at work. Over the course of 3 meetings, it starts to look like things will not go my way. In response, I send an email to the CEO of the company. All my higher ups know I was going to do this and said I should do this as he is very family orientated and that he would not allow anyone to work on a national holiday. Well, he's on vacation in the Bahamas until the 6th, but his assistant informed me he would look at this after he gets back. Repeatedly slams head into desk. So I tell everyone that it will be work from home, and that we'll be setting my cell phone as priority in the call routing, meaning I would get most of the calls. To be honest, I was expecting almost 0 calls, especially since I was asked to send out a notification that IT support would cover the 4th of July. I never sent that email out. A day later, I was given another outrage. I was told in an email that my employees would be required to be at the office and no one was allowed to work from home. They'd be checking the door badge ins to verify we were at the office. I asked why in an email and they said that they wanted to make sure no one was playing video games at work. We normally work from home about 2/3 of the week and video game playing is normal occurrence at work. So I walked into the person's office. After a very long conversation where she was losing the logic war with me, she told me that it's just IT. You guys don't have lives. No, I'm not kidding you. This is exactly what they told me. I reported this to my VP who said, I will take care of this. It likely won't be until after the 4th, so get creative. I know this man well. We have worked together a long time and get creative is code for corporate fuckery. I asked the person requiring us to be at the office if they cared if we had an office party. They said no, as long as it did not interfere with the call flow. Even suggested using my new company card to pay for it. Go wild. Pro tip, never tell me to go wild. At this point, it was Tuesday the 21st. I let everyone know what's up, but that I have something planned. I asked who had things planned for that day. 2 people told me they were planning to shoot off fireworks with their family, but the rest were planning barbecues with friends. I write up an email to the VP over my department and the bad VP. I tell them all that I let everyone know. We were all expected to work until 8 PM Monday, per the conversation with the bad VP. Are we having an office party as a sort of sorry to the guys and girls who got shafted by this decision? The bad VP replied again, thank you for your understanding, and also, yes, I would expect an office party if I had to go to work on the 4th of July as well. So go wild and enjoy your time. Use your new company credit card if you need to cover a few expenses. Also, I should not have to remind you or anyone else, no fireworks or alcohol on company property. So now it's my time to tell you about my office. See, a while back, the IT team was moved from the main corp office and into a smaller building by itself. It has a nice gaming break room, a decent sized gym and a full-on drink bar. Soft drinks mind you, no alcohol at work. Out back is a big patio that crosses county lines as soon as you cross a small creek. A creek that just so happens to have a footbridge over it leading to an empty field. I start making phone calls. Monday, June the 25th. I call up everyone into an hourly meeting that morning. I explain to them all that I will be making it right. I asked everyone to invite their friends and family to the office. No supplies will need to be brought by anyone. I tell them all this will be non-alcoholic, but that I will be planning something for everyone. I told them to expect all food to be provided and they don't need to bring anything unless they want to bring some fireworks, i.e. they don't have to spend a dime. The 4th comes and the entire day we did absolutely no work. No tickets, no calls came in. Well, 7 calls did come in, but from the same person. The bad VP. She was calling to make sure we were manning the phones. All of us were playing video games or watching movies. 6 p.m. rolls around and everyone was told that the food was ready. People were expecting hot dogs, hamburgers, maybe a bratwurst or two. What they got was a full-on barbecue feast with pizza and other foods. There was smoked brisket, spare ribs, smoked sausage, smoked turkey, both kinds of tater salad, coleslaw, green beans and bacon and onion, potatoes au gratin, pizza from 2 different places, excellent hamburgers and bratwurst hot dogs. On the dessert side was cake, very good cookies, 4 different kinds of pies and about 2 pounds of fudge. And waffles, the hell. Families and friends started showing up at around 6 to 6:15ish. Some brought alcohol, but I told them they would need to leave it in their cars as I was not that crazy. Some people were not too happy about that, but agreed that it was a free dinner for random strangers. So let me set the scene for you. I am out there with calls routed to my cell phone and everyone just having a good time. We have a ton of people there just enjoying the fun night, chatting about random stuff, eating the food and occasionally lighting off some sparklers or throwing firecrackers into the stream. It's not stocked and only 1 foot deep. My VP, not the bad VP mind you, showed up with his family and brought some water balloons for the kids and man-children. Around 8:30ish it's getting dark and people want to shoot off more than the simple sparklers and firecrackers we had been using. The VP over the IT department had everyone cross the footbridge, over county line and off company property mind you, and we set up a big wooden board using it as our launch pad. We fired off what we had for an hour or two and sort of just hang out for a little while. But around this time, people were tired and ready to head home. I told people to take home leftovers within reason. We all clocked out at 8 and no one left until about 10:30. The bad VP did call once more while we were out back at the party. It was 7:50 and she called asking for a status update. My exact words were, "Well, you were the only one to call us today. The rest of us are on the back patio enjoying the 4th of July shindig." She simply acted like my boss and said, "As long as no alcohol or fireworks are on company property, I do not care." We ate roughly half of the food catered. The rest was taken home, and a small group of volunteers stayed behind to clean up, including my VP. We had a funny conversation about how this will make waves with the bosses, but he said he had my back and asked me how much this cost. I just gave him a sideways look, which made him laugh. Tuesday morning, I submitted the expense report to my VP. This email would inevitably make its way over to the bad VP and up the chain to the CIO of the company. It would be a bad idea to give out the exact cost of the party, mind you, but I can tell you that because of this 4th of July party, new rules were put into place. Any expenses of over 4K or more must be approved by the direct supervisor. VP over the department and the full expense report must be sent to the financial department for review after the fact. Hint, the party cost over 6K. Shit. The barbecue was the most expensive part. I did not order from a low or mid-tier place. The place I ordered from has consistently been on the top 10 in the DFW listing for the last 30 years. I ate at that place so much I made friends with the owner. The best barbecue I've ever had. The pies and cakes were custom made by a bakery and the cookies were made by a boutique cookie place. I had 12 packs of Coke, Coke Zero, DP, DP Zero, Pepsi and Pepsi Zero. I bought 5 pepperoni, 5 sausage, 5 cheese, 2 Hawaiian and 3 cheeseburger pizzas from one place and nearly the same number from another place. Excluding the cheeseburger ones, I subbed out for a different specialty pizza from the other place. The burgers were from an excellent burger place that did catering. I know that owner well. He brought his kids for the night of fun after he heard what was going to be happening. He was also the one who brought the brat dogs as he recently added those to his menu. This was the most expensive office party in the history of the company. The only things more expensive than this were some business meetings that the CEO rented private rooms in high-end restaurants for. As for the CEO, he was outraged, not at the cost of the party mind you. He knew that the party would not have been necessary if people had been allowed to go home. He was outraged that IT was the only group to be required to work on that day. When I submitted the log showing how we received no real phone calls, no service requests, and that we basically watched movies and played video games during our shift, he had heard enough. He apparently sent out a scathing email about work-life balance and the importance of our holidays to every upper management. It was kind of funny as people wanted me to get in trouble for what I did, But the reality is other departments have done similar things in the past, just not on the scale that IT did. The bad VP was admonished quite effectively and sent me an apology email. I forwarded it to the team with a strong hint to not reply. Then my VP let the CIO and the CEO know that what the bad VP did. You guys don't have lives. The bad VP did actually confirm she said it in a meeting with her EVP. It did not go over well. I've never heard people yelling in an office meeting like that before. The CEO of the company came to our office and yelled at her. Not sure if she was fired, but she is not at work today. In Active Directory, she does not have the down arrow of death, so not 100% what happened to her. I know she lost whatever clout she had at this company with her attitude. If anything more happens, I will update, but so far, it looks like the fallout from this is I caused a new rule to be put in place about how much you're allowed to spend at one time. The bad VP may or may not be let go or forced to resign. I know she got yelled at. Strangely, there is now no longer any pushback for my bid to get everyone back to working from home. I never understand companies or people like that who chase people down and like phoning you every so often to check that you're actually working and manning the phones and stuff like that. And they never seem to understand, you keep your staff happy and you'll usually get the best out of them. You piss them off and you just get resentment and looking for ways to do like in this story. I mean, that party sounded excellent. That sounded absolutely awesome. That amount of pizza, I'd be stood at the food bar all night. And I gotta say, I do love a bit of malicious compliance every once in a while. What about you guys? What do you think of this story? Have you ever had your own malicious compliance stories? Don't forget to let me know. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support and time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being awesome, for being involved. You're incredible. Do not forget that. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care. Much love to you.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today